Hello, everyone and no one, and welcome to another Talk Into the Void. They can't hear you, Tier. I have you guys muted. So I could say whatever I want. Will's laughing and everything, and no one else can hear him. I don't know how, this happens every week. They still can't hear you, so I don't know how you haven't figured this out. All right, but with me, as always,
Well,
is
they can
Tier
hear you.
Alexander. Tier, how you doing?
I'm good for the most part.
Yeah, you're pissed off about the stupid Twitter thing that somebody sent you. With me as well as always, Angela. Angela, how you doing?
I'm okay. I hurt, but I'm good.
Well, and also happy Easter because I know you celebrate it.
I'm good.
Thank you. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
And joining us as well is James. James, how you doing?
It could be worse.
Dude, you missed the 40-minute car chase last week. I don't know how you could miss that.
Yes, you did. It was good.
Yes, I did, and I'm sorry for that.
It
It's
happens.
just after getting out of the hospital and trying to get used to beds,
Yeah.
it's a pain in the padded ass.
Oh, I can believe that. And joining us tonight as well is Will at Forge. Will, how you doing?
I'm holding together. Your friendly void signing in.
I don't really know what I have to talk about. I haven't done much of anything on Twitter for what I've seen. Most of what I've done is, like I already said, me arguing basically with my shower for it to be lukewarm at best. So I need to go clean up my apartment a bit better, just to make it a little more presentable. Even though it's not like dirty. And then contact the maintenance, put in a maintenance request to be like, hey, my stuff's not getting hot. It's getting lukewarm.
Well, I got a good question for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Platypus is a mammal.
Oh,
It has
Lord.
duck's bill and lays eggs, and its claws are poisonous, or its
Only
bite is
male.
poisonous, whatever.
Claws on the male only. Well,
Okay.
they're spurs on the back of the leg.
And I want to say in that technicality, it wouldn't be poisonous. It'd be venomous.
Venomous,
Yes.
yes.
Venomous. Venom.
If you bite it and you
Venom.
die, it's poisonous. If it bites you and you die, it's venomous.
Okay. Well, with that said,
Or
we
even
can
better
accept
when
the platypus for
I was
all
about to say-
that it is. But where
God's
I draw the
perfect
line
joke
is,
on it's God's perfect joke on evolutionists is what it is.
yeah. Robin Williams said that one best. After he described it, he says, "Hey, Darwin, here you go."
Yes.
But, I can accept that. I draw the line at a rabbit laying eggs.
Oh, Lord. No, the rabbit isn't laying the eggs. It's stealing the eggs from the chicken.
It's supposed to be a fertility thing because rabbits are supposed to be a sign of fertility. The eggs, obviously, being a sign of fertility.
Why is the decoration,
Even-
or why do we color them?
Fuck if I know.
Even though the
Hallmark?
even the eggs that we serve are not fertilized, so not a real good fertility right there.
I mean, do you want to eat a fertilized chicken egg?
Not
No.
particularly. Not chicken, not duck. I'm not into balut.
I mean, do you want to eat fertilized caviar?
Negatory.
Then I guess we need to quit this line of thinking. Because this just leads to a horrible, horrible place.
Sit there and look at it and go, I can understand it from a Christianity standpoint on Easter. That whole thing, that makes sense to me.
Yes.
Okay? That whole story makes sense. It's totally believable. For me. Now, I'm sure there are some atheists out there who go, okay, a man died supposedly was dead for 3 days and then became a zombie.
He's not a zombie. He's a lich.
You don't
Well,
realize
either way.
he rose because of the yeast, because his body is bread.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I'm going to hell for laughing at that. But anywho.
Because like that's what
Thanks,
you have to
just
ask. It's like, you know,
bang my head on the nearest wall.
it's like they keep saying he's like, eat of this because it is my body, and that's the whole thing of like it's bread and that whole thing. So he's got to have risen because of the yeast.
Well, actually, it was
unleavened
unleavened bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, no yeast. You know, the whole Bible has a thing against women.
They did.
Bible also
Yeah,
has a thing
I
against
mean-
mixed fabrics. So what's your point?
According to my
Well, I
good
think
friends,
you should always separate your colors from your whites. I mean, that's just perfect laundry management.
according to my
There's-
Jewish friends, who
there-
say the young.
I'm
You can't have the young.
honestly, when it comes to all that shit, for what I've mostly seen with modern detergents and everything, a lot of that's a bunch of bullshit.
Really?
Depends on the color. Anything with like a reddish tint in the dyeing, it's not going to be color fast enough
Yeah.
to keep it from bleeding into whites.
Yeah, it depends on like what the color is of red, also which type of thing it is. Like, if you're gonna wash shop rags, those red shop rags, wash them bitches on their own without anything else, because they are going to lose color, and it's going to bleed into everything because of whatever dye they
wash
use.
them on their own or with things that you don't care if they turn pink.
Yeah,
Oh, I've
I
got
don't care
some
if my
white shop
socks turn
rags.
pink.
I don't care if they all turn pink.
I don't care if my underwear or my socks turn pink. Never have.
I'm amazed that you have underwear and socks, James. I just assumed that you were a redneck.
I am, but I wear underwear.
He is, and he washes his colors and whites together, which is why his underwear and socks are pink.
Ah,
It's a very
Exactly.
redneck thing to do.
I believe in equality.
I believe that we should mix the colors and the whites together. Pour them both into the wash machine and let the waters of love and the soap of unity combine together to clean them of the filthy thing.
look, if we're gonna go
Good
with
job,
that, we gotta
Reverend Drew.
talk about how the Lord's got to bring back I Be Banging.
Lord, Jesus,
I will
please.
never, ever let that die. I still love the
Such a
seed.
great line.
Franklin.
Oh my
What's
God.
his name? I Be Banging. What? I Be Banging. I don't know his real name.
It's Franklin.
Wasn't it
Please,
like
Lord,
Henry or Harold or some shit?
Frederick.
It's like Frederick.
Frederick, that was
Frederick.
it.
Freddie. No, not Freddie. Frederick. I be begging.
how we doing?
Just I cannot do that to this poor guy.
Oh, just that scene. So great, so great.
You know, one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen.
Which one is this?
This was Bringing Out the Dead, where he plays the
EMT.
paramedic EMT.
Oh. I missed that one.
You know why EMS always has two people in the ambulance? 'Cause
Why?
it says it's supposed to have a paramedics.
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, if we're gonna do that,
it's just-
if I'd have paid attention, I could have actually just had this open and done that.
Well, it's my aunt dropped off her bird, and it's supposed to be a parakeet, but since there's only one, I think it's just a keet.
With just one sheet.
Yeah. That bird hates that joke.
How do you know? You told him before?
Well, I told it to him once or twice, and he started just chirping really loud every time I tell it to him.
Look,
I don't
Look
think
at
he
you
likes
like
to
that.
joke.
Motherfucker.
Or he just doesn't like you.
That's a
He just
possibility
doesn't
too.
like being reminded that he's alone.
Yeah,
And,
there's-
When you gonna have kids?
Well, there are certain animals in that whole thing that if you're gonna get the one, it's actually exponentially better to have two of them than one, so that way they're less likely to be lonely, and that is that way with specific birds.
cats
Well,
are
I hate
like
this
that.
part. I really don't like this bird because it's loud, it's obnoxious.
So it's like a bird form of you.
So it's a bird.
Say the feelings are apparently mutual and for the same reasons.
Yeah.
So it's a bird form of James. I don't see why y'all don't get along well.
Right now, the bird's talking to a podcast. Yeah, he's loud and obnoxious.
Wait a minute.
So don't live with James is the moral of the story.
I mean, you can live with James. Just
If you're
understand
a
that James is
bird.
James. Yeah.
The bird's on a different podcast, or talking to another bird. It's called Talking to the Feeder.
I offered it some fried chicken and didn't like it.
Clearly, the bird's not black.
Well, it's a bluebird.
Clearly, because if that was a black bird, if that was a raven or a crow, hey, ate that shit right up.
Well, if it's a parakeet, it's either blue or green.
Yeah, it's blue. I don't think it'd be as blue if it had a mate.
So it's a Smurf bird.
Yeah, that's an attention whore.
My
Ooh.
father-in-law used to breed parakeets. They're actually really pretty birds, but they are a lot of work.
Next, he's gonna show up and it's gonna start whistling "Lonely." I'm Mr. Lonely.
No, I got to do the Kim Jong Un, the Kim Jong Il version from King Barton. Wrong. I'm so wrong.
I'm trying to teach this bird how to bark. Keep going, you're a puppy, bark. I'm waiting for it to go, bow wow.
Why do you want to get into a fight with Ollie?
James just likes causing trouble.
About that.
James is evil. Like, Angela, you're dating him. Why don't you know that James is evil?
She's hoping she can change him.
Good luck
No,
with that.
I don't believe in changing people. You know
Yeah.
what you got when you got in there. but-
She doesn't seem like the I can fix him kind of gal.
No, she
James,
doesn't.
James is the type of evil that you can't fix. You just only accept and pray doesn't burn down the village.
I was gonna say
Mhm.
she doesn't seem like the I can fix him type of gal, which is good. He doesn't have to be worried about her with sharp objects.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Angela's more the contain. Like, all right, look. Try not to burn down the family home and don't do anything too crazy that I have to bail you out of type of gal. That's what she seems like.
No, I am the if you go to jail, you're getting yourself out. So,
You best
so
talk
make
to the
sure you
bondsman on
have
your
a
own.
fund. Make sure you have a fund for it, or don't do something stupid.
That's up to the bail James out of jail fund.
Now, if somebody's picking on you and you don't deserve it, I'll be the first one to like jump in there and throw the first punch, and then you're gonna have to take me to the hospital afterwards.
Yes,
I can't
Angela.
fight for shit.
In
Angela,
some
it's,
res-
it's James
But
we're
I'll
talking
land.
about.
But I'll land at least one good punch.
Angela.
in
James
this
we're
regards,
talking
Angela. In this regards, Angela actually kind of reminds me of my oldest daughter. I remember first time she got a boyfriend, and it's like, this is normally where the dad would say, "If you hurt my daughter, I will hurt you." But let's be straight up about it. If you hurt her, she's not going to leave enough pieces of you around for me to hurt.
You're more like, dude, if you fuck up, she's gonna kill you. I'm not going to do shit. I'm just help her bury the body.
Say,
I dated a chick
If-
once that she had a SIG. I don't know exactly what all that is. I'm not a gun expert or anything,
Gun?
but
Oh.
yeah, it's a SIG, something or another. But she told me, she says, "You hurt me. I'm not the only one that's going to have a broken heart."
oh,
Ooh.
And you can pick them.
yes. Sig could do a good job of breaking your heart.
James likes crazy bitches.
What does that say about you, Angela?
It says that for some reason he got lost along the way.
Good comeback. Good recovery. Good recovery. I'll accept that answer.
Don't get me wrong, I'm my own kind of crazy, but it's not really the kind of crazy he usually goes for.
No, I go for the type of crazy that'll, oh, I don't know.
You like bunny boilers, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I love bunny boilers.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
Me too. Mhm.
in my 20s and 30s, bunny boilers were great because, Jack Cochran says that it's okay to date crazy, but never tell it your real name. And I'm in that same camp because crazy is great in bed. Bunny boilers are great in bed.
Well, that's
See, and I
kind of
kind
how
of
his bunny got boiled.
say, and I'm kind of leaning in favor of Monkey's default on that. You don't stick your dick in crazy.
But it's so fun.
Yes, it is.
Monkey gives, if you listen to Monkey gives the advice, don't stick your dick in crazy. But he also wants to turn around and find, they ain't got no GED, bitch, and
He's openly
People-
admitted, though, in a lot of cases that it falls in the whole thing of like, do as I say, not as I do.
yes.
Yeah,
That's what
this
I'm
is
saying. He gives
this
the
is-
advice not to, but he doesn't follow his own advice.
this is good advice. I'm not saying I take my own advice, but this is good advice.
I mean, I've got nuggets of wisdom that I know for a fact are sound. I can't take them. Like I am attracted to insane and crazy, and I don't
There
accept.
is. I'm sorry, Terry.
Go ahead. I was just saying I'm attracted to it. I don't know why.
My advice is know thyself. If you have a weak disposition, don't date bunny boilers because they will do some shit that will put your psyche through the ringer.
Well,
Now, what I will
that's just
say
all women.
is, if you're dating someone and they say that they're going through psychology classes, dump that hoe.
Oh yeah, don't date somebody who's wanting to study psychology either.
Because they will turn you into their science project and fuck with your melon.
Oh, and they also think that because they've been through that, like only like a couple classes of that, they obviously know how everyone works.
Oh, yeah. Because
Girly?
it says right
You-
here,
No, that-
Girly, you really don't want to play that game with me. My noggin is wired so every which way. You're the
Well-
one that's going to end up institutionalized.
Well, you're an elderly abomination.
Well,
Most
go ahead, Angela.
psychiatrists should be in the nuthatch to begin with.
yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I was using a reference from American Dad, to where Haley comes back from college, and was it the son Steve is just like, so like how it is. She's like, oh, my psychology class was great. I've been to one class of it, and already I know how everyone's mind works.
No.
Because
Oh, yeah. That's
there are people that are like that.
That's
Yes,
Well-
there are.
Psych 101.
Oh no, is there the plausibility you could meet someone who's actually going for a psychological major and everything, and them not turn you into to their project? It's plausible. Highly unlikely. They're what's called a unicorn.
Yeah, I'd not put money down on the odds.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: my psyche can handle someone at the BS, the first 4 year degree, your bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I can handle a psychology major up to that point. Once I start getting to the master's program, that one really screwed with me for a while, and I still have some issues from that I'm trying to unfuck myself on.
I don't know.
See,
I
I got this advantage. If you try to do that deep of a dive into my psyche, you're the one that's going to have trouble unwinding.
Well, that's why I keep telling Rotten to be careful about getting into my head, because he's gonna get lost and it's scary in there.
I'm not trying to get into anyone's head.
No,
Uh,
it's you keep thinking the same thing that I do.
Hmm.
I'm
Angela, I have a perfect counter, and I don't want you because I feel like you're going to come to my house
See, it's one of
and
those
slap
things.
me.
We just happen to have similar thought processes, at least for that.
yeah, exactly.
And-
It's
and-
scary sometimes though, because literally what was just running through my head comes out of your mouth like 10 seconds later.
Again, I have a perfect counter. I have a perfect line, but I don't want to get slapped, so I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna thank you. I'm gonna say it.
What are you thinking, Tyr? Because now not saying it is gonna get you slapped.
All right. If Sandy's gonna get me slapped, and that Sandy's gonna get me slapped. All right. That's not what Rod's trying to get into.
I don't think
Bro, Angela, first try.
What?
I think you got a little lost along the way, Tyr.
Again, it was a counter. It wasn't supposed to be good. It was just a counter. It was supposed to be a quick shot in the dark, and then flee in the night. Blink into the darkness. It,
Yeah, I'm gonna just walk away from that because
Please don't show up to my house and slap me. I like to sleep the night.
I won't. I will not slap you.
Oh,
That
the
was-
next barge, you're on it.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I'm not going to slap you. You're going to sit down and slap yourself. That's the way this works.
Oh, wanna-
Say, you know what you did.
Either you slap yourself or you're getting out. And I don't mean it out of America. I mean out of life.
You have two options. You can either go through this, or you can die.
Now,
That's why you have to be
That's
careful who
me.
you go with, because I'm fine with being myself, because I'm not apologizing for dumbass reasons that aren't my fault.
Yeah. Oh, Tyr, you will enjoy this one.
yes.
I was at the doctor's office Thursday,
Yes, sir.
and I hate being in the doctor's office anyway. So, you know me, my sarcasm and humor is on full display because that's my shield.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was just sitting there laughing at something that popped in my head, and the nurse says, "What's so funny?" And says, "You probably won't like it. I have a dark sense of humor." And she says, "Oh, I do too." I said, "How dark is your sense of humor?" And I go, she says, "Oh, it must be pretty dark then." I said, "Well, I'll put it to you this way. If it was any darker, it'd step out for cigarettes."
I Oh, my typical one to go to of that, it's like, yeah, I got dark humor. How dark is it? Oh, it picks its own cotton.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Y'all never heard that one?
no,
No.
it's a good one. Bravo.
That is a constant one that gets used in the military to where it's just like, how dark's your humor? Oh, it picks its own cotton.
Bravo, good sir. I'm happy. I'm stealing that one.
Yeah, but yeah. Then the nurse just kind of gave that uneasy laugh, like,
And you can also use the one to where it's like, well, how dark's your humor? If it smiles in a dark room, you're just gonna see the teeth.
Damn.
let's put it this way: if my humor was under your bed, you'd know it.
Frosted Glass. I'm calling it. Cheers, Joe died. 12:21 a.m. Thank you. Thank you, Frosted. Appreciate
By
that.
the way, when you were on the corner Friday, did you see my comment about they were talking about lynching what's his face? Pence?
Yeah.
Did you see my comment on that?
What'd you say?
The Southern people, as a whole, do not like hanging people. They just want to secure their farm equipment to where their kids can't get to it.
Damn.
Wow.
Wow.
Did I mention you're my favorite redneck? Because I think that's one. Nope, it's not going to replace my favorite racist joke. My favorite racist joke will probably be my favorite racist joke. Nothing's going to replace that one. The sheer absurdity in the joke.
Uh,
Frosted, my humor is so dark that when my jokes die, cities get burned down.
Damn!
My humor's so dark, if I tell it to a cop, they gotta take a knee.
Damn.
You can thank Frosted for that one, because I just thought of it.
Humor's
Yeah,
so dark
my-
it plays professional sports. All of them.
Shit, my
My
humor's so
humor has
dark. It went out for milk and it has come back since.
my
Well, that's
humor
just
has a
my mind.
first name, it's HUMOR. My humor has a last name, it's FLOYD.
oh.
And they can't breathe either.
My humor's so dark he came over on a boat called the Amazon. Mm-hmm. No, dead arrival. Dead arrival.
Yeah, DOA. Sorry, bud.
My humor's so dark it gets stopped and frisked in New York City.
Well, the stop and frisk clause, they never really bothered me because most
Oh, you
cops
like
kind
getting
of
stopped
stop
up.
frisking you after you say, lower daddy.
James, you just like getting stopped up.
Maybe I have something in between my pants. It's like in between my legs there, police officer. Why don't you go ahead and look for it? Get a good feel.
Hey, Miss
Oh.
Police Officer, man. I think I'm carrying a weapon. It's loaded.
Hey there,
Oh,
big
you do.
guy.
That's how I stopped getting, when I get pulled over, when I was working in the oil field,
Mm-hmm.
I used to get pulled over and they'd pat me down. And I'm white. So,
Oh, you know about that? We
Yeah.
haven't seen a picture.
but anywho, I got patted down once and it just popped in my head and I said, lower daddy. The rest of the police department heard that one and I stopped getting patted down.
Afterwards, did you turn to the police officer and say, "Was it good for you too?"
Oh Jesus.
What you should do, what you should have done was pull out a cigarette and go, man. So, do you want to buy me dinner?
Get done with that, been like, "Oof, I need a cigarette after that one." So, you gonna call me later, right?
This is the one time.
See, here, don't follow our example. We're white. We can get away with that.
Shit, at my job, I'm the one doing patty.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you
Still
you
reparations, right?
say
Yeah.
you say that, but I gotta watch myself with police. So
Like, that's,
course,
I'm
I'm always-
sorry. Mhm.
I'm always tempted to let my mouth go free if I'm pulled over. It's like, where are you coming from? Oh, back there. Where are you going over there?
Oh, I mean, you can quite
Have you had
literally say
anything to
that.
drink today? Well, I mean, there was the Pepsi and the water. Oh, and the restaurant had iced tea. And oh, I got some water. You need a bottle of water, officer?
So I can't do.
Locked up before?
So the only reason why I can't do all that stuff when it comes to that is because if I get pulled over, the immediate thing is it's going to be like, "Here's my license, registration, CPL, and yes, I am carrying."
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
before we do anything, officer. I'm obligated by law to advise you that I'm licensed to carry concealed, and I am carrying right now.
And then
Here's
if
my
you-
license and registration. Oh, and proof of insurance.
Oh, if it's at night, I'll turn the dome light on and I'll stick my hands out the window. Back when I was driving, I'd stick my hands out the window. That way they could see everything and wait for them to.
then the only argument I'm potentially going to have with the cop is depending on who it is and whatnot. They're going to try to tell me I need to see your gun so I can make sure it's safe. And I'm going to tell them no when they're going to be like, "Excuse me," and be like, "That's a department policy. It is not a law. I do not have to follow it. It is holstered. It'll remain holstered. My hands will stay on the steering wheel. If you'd like me to get out, yes, I can." It's like, I can get out and we can have the discussion, but I do not. Shit, now I'm trying to remember what the hell it is. Like, do not consent to any search or seizure.
Yeah, I
Right,
do
I
not
just
consent to any
texted you
searches
something.
and seizures. Officer, I am really not comfortable reaching for or touching my gun, even at your direction. I'd rather leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really rather leave it there because y'all shoot people that reach for guns, even the ones you tell, that reach for stuff, even the ones you tell to reach for stuff. Don't touch it. It is actually a gun.
I just
That's why I
tagged you
just carry
Oh, yeah.
guns.
That's evil frosted.
I can't see it.
Ow.
You have anything to drink today? Yeah, your wife squirts.
Oh
Ooh.
no.
And that's disgusting because that's predominantly urine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just gross.
No, like an entire study was done on that. That
Significant lowering of bladder contents.
mhm.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you're into the water sports, Frosted, I mean, that's on you, brother.
Look,
Well,
what you do in the privacy of your own home with Jack Dempsey is what you do in the privacy of Jack Dempsey.
remember, if she has crotch goblins, she's got a weak bladder.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you
normal
very much.
biology.
Speaking from experience, James.
Look, I'm just saying the whole thing. It's like I'm not looking to try to get with it. Like I've never understood the guys who are like, "Oh yeah, that's so hot that she's a squirter." Because it's like that just seems
Yeah.
unsanitary. And then I went and found out the whole thing that it's like, yeah, it's also predominantly urine. So if you really think that's hot, you enjoy getting pissed on.
Yeah.
Gonna say you made your girl piss her pants. Good job.
Maid. She begged to do it.
Get up.
Shit.
That's nasty.
You You
Yeah,
just
well,
need a
that's
shower curtain and take a shower afterwards.
it's like,
Well,
yeah, well,
you
that's
know.
disgusting.
You have a regular shower,
Sure,
you have a
we
normal
have-
shower, and a regular shower.
Sure, he had the collar and lace on, so I just rubbed her nose in it and spanked her with a newspaper.
James, I can't take you anywhere.
No.
I will be back in a moment.
James, I try with you. I'm like, you know what, James? Let's go do a stream together.
You sure you want to
We're-
leave this crew unaccompanied on the channel?
We got a chaperone. We're fine.
Yeah, but Angela's just as disgusted with me at this point in time. I can hear it.
You can see the gears.
And Will's got his lap panther.
Aww. Okay. Rotten
Right.
has that amazingly cute shark cat thing. I want one of those.
I want a
I
cat. I want a shark cat. I don't want a plush. I want an actual shark cat.
I've got to
I
send you a picture of mine because mine is Grumpy Cat in the shark outfit.
I want the shark cat plushie.
Well, let's see.
Shark cat. Maybe I'll get
Yeah.
Sun.com.
It's so cute. Ah.
Have you seen the rubber ducky that's wearing a onesie, a shark onesie?
I haven't seen that either, but it sounds super cute.
It is.
In what?
The rubber
Okay.
ducky that's wearing a shark onesie?
Hmm.
Apparently, there's a rubber ducky like your shark cat thing.
Oh yeah, when I was looking at that whole thing, they got several different options available.
I want a shark cat plushie.
Do any
Or
of
if
them
there's a
vibrate?
dog. Oh, if there's a dog, I'm in love, and I definitely.
There you go, Angela. Check the chat.
Question is, do any of them vibrate?
Cute. Shut up.
Bravo question, James. I think we need to research this.
That is really cute.
Oh, and
That's
Angela,
so
here
adorable.
is. There's another one for you.
Oh my god, it's so cute. I'm gonna die.
Oh
Oh.
God,
Yeah.
she's about to squeeze.
Oh.
If she hits the
Oh,
uwu, I'm leaving.
Die!
If Angela uwus, I'm leaving the stream. I can't do it.
I don't do that shit unless I'm making fun of it. Thank you. But that dog. Oh. I want the puppy. Oh.
Like, this is my last bashing away from shit. Like, if you ever do that, I'm going to leave and never come back.
James.
They,
the-
keep it
the
up,
thing that
Froster.
you said.
Keep it up, Frosted. The Lap Panther is a pure carnivore. I might just have you visit to keep her in fresh meat for a couple months.
That's true. I have seen a bad movie that Tier hasn't.
What movie?
We saw Stone Cold today. It was the most wonderfully bad thing that I have seen in a while.
I still seen a bad movie that you've never seen. I've seen Miami Connection.
You seen what?
Miami Connection.
Okay.
And also, I've seen The Room. You're tearing me apart, Angela.
I still have not seen The Room. That is true.
And I've seen Samurai Cop.
You seen what?
Samurai Cop.
Oh my god.
And Kabuki
That
Cop.
is the point here.
Oh, you need to watch Kabuki Cop.
They have a 36-inch banana duck plushie toy.
Man, see if Frosty can find computers.
James Cully, are you looking at what?
What?
Yeah, I'm. I'm pretty sure that isn't something we want to talk about on YouTube.
Oh, it's actually an Amazon item. It's a plushie toy. It's a
Okay.
banana duck. It's a duck that's looks like a banana. That's even peeled halfway. It's got a bill and everything. I
Oh,
wasn't saying anything dirty.
okay, because you did ask about vibrating shark
Angel, get your mind out the gutter.
animals.
James is an
See,
innocent angel.
Oh. He started it.
James, I understand that you are an innocent angel. It's okay.
I know. Yeah, I can't help it if you following me down the holes.
No,
If
See,
you
you
follow
said
me and don't keep up.
I refuse.
you said duck plushie, and the first place my mind always goes there. Back to my FedEx days. There is an insurance agency in Newego. No, it was in Fremont, Michigan, that had a stuffed Aflac duck
Mhm.
that was like 4 feet tall. It was huge. They had it sitting on a chair, and it took the whole chair plus.
I want it.
I had a stuffed goose named Chester.
I got a white
The
mage
cats have
chocobo.
the cats have a
What?
skeleton rat named Roger.
Mhm.
Roger? Aw.
No, I said I got a white mage chocobo because way back when I had bought a chocobo plushie that the chocobo has a white mage robe on.
It's from the
Well, that
the
is
Chocobo
way cool.
game. Kentucky Fried Chocobo.
And then I also have a Tonberry.
Ah, I hate you.
So I gotta
Oh,
make
what?
sure I find I gotta bring I'm gonna bust. I think I have the Tonberry here. No, the Tonberry's still at
The-
my folks' house as well. So I'm gonna have to grab the Tonberry and the Chocobo next time, and I gotta find a place to put them because they're gonna chill with the Shark Kitty.
Oh.
The cats
That's
have
the
a stuffed
Tonberry.
platypus and a stuffed capybara.
The hardest character or the hardest enemy to beat in all of Final Fantasy. Master Tomberry.
No, it's not. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, revive and keep that motherfucker away from me. You'll be fine.
Oh, well, on 7 he's the hardest.
Oh, 7, yeah, he is.
Well, Ruby Weapon's supposed to be the hardest in Final Fantasy VII.
No, Ruby Weapon isn't hard. It's just annoying to fight him.
I actually had no
Yeah.
issues with Ruby Weapon. Emerald Weapons, who took a while.
Well, the time limit is a factor in that one.
Well, the only reason
well.
why I actually took longer than I believe it was about in total maybe a 20-minute long fight is because about 12 minutes or so of that was was the game paused, my TV turned off with the controller underneath my pillow, hoping my parents would go to their bedroom and that whole thing so I could turn it back on real quick and beat them, because quite literally it took me about 8 minutes.
Honestly, I love the submarine combat in the game. Like even for a low shit mini game, I like the combat.
Well, the easiest way to beat Ruby Weapon was to have Quadra summon, W summon, and then a Mastered Knights of the Round that was conjoined with a MP absorb.
Yeah.
And then you would
that
have
way you can just expand it.
and then you would also have everyone use mime, and everyone would also have the counter skill but not counter attack. You would counter mime. So you would W summon, because the quad summon would be with the a master summon, because you cannot quad summon Knights of the Round. So you would W summon Hades at him, because Ruby Weapon is actually susceptible to status effects. So it would hit him with every single status effect for 4 straight attacks because it would cast it 4 times. You W summon that and the Knights of the Round, which just does uber fucking power because it's not part of Master Summon. It's its own thing, if memory serves me correctly. And all that does is just bring your MP back up. And once you just fucking mime that, like, Jesus Christ, dude, you just destroy things.
I'm sounding a bit tinny.
A little bit. I was about to
Uh,
ask you when I got a chance whether if you're like in your kitchen or your
No,
bathroom.
hold on. I'm not. Give me a second, really quickly. Let's troubleshoot really quick. Turn off my mic. Any better?
Mm. Talk a little more.
Yeah. Any better? Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you fine.
We can hear you. You just have kind of a weird acoustic thing going on.
I don't have a condenser on this mic because it broke off. I just need to buy a new one. I just need to. I might see
Like
if I
I
can
said,
get.
it's not awful. I just was wondering because I wasn't the only one that noticed. I was like, it's not just me.
No, it's not just you.
Again, I want to improve. I want to improve the quality of what I do. Maybe I just need a better mic.
Tomorrow is my favorite holiday.
Well, today is my favorite holiday. It's National Awareness Day.
Favorite. What?
National Awareness Day. Is that better?
What awareness day?
Yeah, right.
National Awareness Day.
That's every day.
Uh, is this better?
I don't
Hard
think
to
it's gonna
tell.
get better, Tier.
Oh no.
Yes,
I'm
good.
The
not getting.
awareness day.
Oh god.
Like I said, it's not bad. We can hear what you're saying. You just sound really tinny.
Maybe I'm going through a time warp. Let's do the time warp, yeah. Anyone know where that's from?
Yes, I know
Yes.
when it's in
Does it
tune.
jump to the left?
Right.
And then I stepped around.
That's what I'm saying. So my ex-girlfriend, she used to go to this hole in the wall club called Club Orpheus. And you would go with her. And her and a group did the stage play version of that there. Like a bunch of her friends. So I was kind of forced to watch it. And yeah. I still prefer the original version.
You were forced to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show?
No, I was forced to watch a stage play version of it.
Oh,
The
I
things we do for
actually
love.
I actually really, really wanted to go to one of the midnight showings where they have the
It's interaction.
what?
Where they have the audience interaction.
Yes. Except I don't think I would like having mayonnaise thrown over.
So my grandmother, God rest her soul, really loved Little Shop of Horrors. So I can sing the entire fucking score of Little Shop of Horrors.
Little
I call
shop,
Little
little
Shop,
shop of horrors.
Little Shop of Santa. Oh, oh, oh.
Suddenly Seymour.
Oh God, no, my favorite song is Long
I just always
and
still remember
you
the
so
feed me.
Feed me,
Gotcha,
Seymour.
Seymour. Gotcha looks like fast food to me. I am your dad. and I reflect. I am your dance and I will dance. Say, I'm mean green mother from outer space, and I'm peace me back. Yes,
Okay, I think we broke
I
the
can sing the
energy.
entire fucking score. My grandmother loved that movie so much that she made all her grandchildren learn those songs to make her happy.
Oh,
Aw,
by the way, did you know Jack Nicholson played the dentist in the original version of that?
Really?
yes.
Yes,
Did not know that.
before it was a
Did-
musical.
I did not. Also, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Did you know that
That
Andy
that
Lindbergh
could
was
be
in
a,
it for Sweeney Todd?
that would be interesting to see. I can imagine he'd be very good in that role.
There's a black
Yeah.
and white version.
Yeah, it was actually. I've seen it a couple of times. I still prefer my Rick Moranis version, but
Rick Moranis leaving show business was a death knell. Like
it
he
was
should have
so
never
good.
left. I get it, but I think he should have never left. He should still be acting.
Well,
Like,
he gave it up because his wife died and he was taking care of his kids.
I said I understand. Like, it's just he was such a great actor. Like he was one of the best. Like man, and whoever punched him should burn in hell.
Exactly.
I don't
I
care
hope they
what.
brought him back for Frozen Kingdom.
Nah, they didn't.
They
They did
didn't?
not. No.
Mm-mm. They got almost all the original cast except for him. And it pisses me off that Annie Potts did not marry Egon Spangler.
I saw the Afterlife finally yesterday. That movie was unfucking fair. It made me cry.
It was a rehashing of the old one. I didn't like it.
It wasn't a rehashing. It was actually pretty damn original from my standpoint.
They instead of making a new anime, they just reused Gozer. The Gozerian.
They did that
They
for one of
did
the
Oh
use
games
yeah.
as well.
Gozer, but they it was well done. It was enough of an homage to the original while stepping away enough from it that it wasn't a complete. It wasn't like Jurassic World where it was Jurassic Park beat for beat. You know?
Yeah. The original script before when Howard Raines was still alive, the original script that they were going to do for three was that everybody's older and they were going to get their kids. Like Raines was going to be married to Dana and Oscar was going to be there. Everybody's going to have a child, and they're going to like Egon's going blind, so he can't really see well, and Ray can't lift up the patch because he's gotten older and then we're going to pass the torch that way. And I would really have loved to see it, but fucking Bill Murray and his fucking attitude fucking destroyed that idea. And we lost Carl Rainey before they could reconcile. And it
Well,
pisses me off.
this was an adaptation of the original script for Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was an adapted version of the original script for Ghostbusters 2.
And I wish they'd have brought back Fat. Egon should have gotten fat, like Carl Rainey did. Because I loved him in As Good as It Gets. Favorite movie.
As good as it gets.
Yeah, As Good as It Gets is one of my favorite movies.
As Good as It Gets was a great movie, but I'm not sure I understand
No, and
what you just said.
Hal Rainey was the husband of the publisher in As Good as It Gets, and he played the doctor that saw to Helen Hunt's son. that helped him out when he was the chunker. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, he was. I completely forgot about that.
hmm
He's the good doctor that Jack Nicholson connected her to.
Yeah, the publisher's husband. He plays the publisher's husband, good doctor, because he wants him to go back to writing, but he's hung up on Helen Hunt's character. And all right, I'll help this guy. I'll help this woman with her issues, so you can get your ass back into fucking writing and make me some damn money, essentially. Like, yeah, again, my favorite movie.
Well, it was a movie.
I love
mean,
that. I'm looking at the cast list, and like my favorite line is sitting here. How do you write women so well? I think of a man, and I take away logic and reason.
And all the
Thought it was
credibility.
reason and accountability.
Reason and accountability.
That's true. Yes.
I only know
I'm
that because
like
that's one of
going through
Polydub's
everything.
donations.
I forgot Yardley Smith was. I need to watch this again.
This is a great cast.
I do remember wanting Jamie Kennedy to die.
I didn't want Jamie Kennedy to die.
No, Jamie Kennedy was a dick and beat the shit out of Greg Kinnear. I wanted him to die.
Still didn't want him to die. He's an ass. Say something nice. But say something nice, or I'm leaving.
okay, as good as it gets was a disappointment
I
for me.
love Jamie Kennedy in Scream.
As
That's
good as it
something.
gets was a disappointment
Oh Lord.
for me.
Now
You know, they hype it up as that Helen Hunt finally does a topless scene, and then you see what she's got, and it's like, holy shit, put your shirt back on. I was disappointed.
For once, James is unhappy about tits.
I should have known that it had something to do with it.
Almost always got something to do with tits with James.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where he probably wouldn't have liked the original Gone in 60 Seconds because there were no tits.
I know, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, but
there
he
wasn't
would
any
have
in
probably
the.
been fascinated with that one chick's hair.
Yes, she had massive hair.
He did.
She made the girls in Hairspray look like their hair was small.
Not all movies have to have naked breasts in order for me to like them.
It's a plus.
It is a plus for a movie. But if you're going to tout it as a movie that says that Helen Hunt's going to be topless, at least make it worth my time to look.
Did you want them to like have a body double?
I would have rather.
It
No,
wouldn't be the
see
first
what-
movie that's done stuff like that for a female or male actor.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale did it in Waterworld.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't her backside. It was a stunt double. And
Well,
she
it
got to
wasn't
pick out whose butt.
Kevin Costner's skinny dipping scene in Robin Hood was a body double as well.
What's his name? What's her name? Who played Captain Marvel and then?
Had an ass double.
Yep.
Well, that's because she's flat as board.
Like it's funnier than fuck to go through and listen to that whole thing of whatnot, and then find out like Tom Holland's got a better ass than she does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but anyhow,
Does it really take much?
Granted, I will still say for that moment I did not hate her in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, even though the movie isn't as good for the like following the story. But the girl can actually sing, and
She only had like fucking lines.
no, she
She
actually
actually sang the
the
song.
the song that was in there. She did a full recording of it.
No, I know she did full record because I've heard it before, but I'm talking about in the movie itself. She had like only 4, maybe 5 actual lines of dialogue. She was not in the movie at all. She was in there for about maybe one of the movies I watch religiously at least once a year. She was in there for maybe
Oh yeah, she's in there
10
for
minutes.
a short period of time.
Oh yeah,
Like I'm
but
not
I love
disagreeing with
Clash of
that.
the Demon Head. For a while when I used to play Warhammer, Total War Warhammer 2, whenever I made a multiplayer game, it was always Clash of the Demon Head, and I always played on a mountain map.
Because that's like when she was in uh fucking 21 Jump Street. She actually showed she can smile. I mean, granted, that movie is an atrocity of the 22 or 21 Jump Street series.
Yeah,
If it had been called something else, it had been a good movie or been a better movie.
Well, they did the same thing with Dukes of Hazard.
There's a
That
reason
forest fire.
They did the same thing with oh god, what's the two motorcycle cops?
Chips.
Starsky and
Chips.
Hutch. Oh wait, yeah, that Starsky and Hutch remake wasn't that freaking great to begin with.
all right, so me and Mitch were talking about this Thursday, and we come to the realization that if modern remakes should never exist, on the grounds that all you're doing is either making it fun or trying to turn a serious project into a comedy, which makes no sense, or you're trying to wokeify things. We use the example of Starsky and Hutch. Starsky and Hutch was never a comedy; it was more of a drama. But the Owen Wilson Ben Stiller remake is a fucking comedy.
Well, Dukes
Yeah.
of Hazard had comedic moments, but it wasn't full comedy.
Exactly.
It's like typically
And
taking any TV show and then making it a fucking movie is just a bad idea.
the other example was the Dark Shadows, I think it was, with
Dark Shadows with Johnny Depp. I didn't watch that because I actually liked the remake series from the
yeah, they turned it into a comedy.
not this not the series, the movie with
Yeah, the movie, and the same thing they did with fucking like we were talking about Lord Planet of the Apes. The Mark Wahlberg one was a travesty of the series because it went from this psychological thing where it's this guy on this planet to it's this slave leading a revolt. You know, it lost the essence of what it was, and then to have him go back in time and it's a whole new planet, you know, where apes are in control. It ruined it ruined the essence of the original movies.
See,
I don't know.
the Mark
As,
Wahlberg Planet of the Apes. Go ahead, Angela.
as you got deeper into the original Planet of the Apes, it got a little wokey too.
Well, no,
And
no, no, no.
I'm talking like back in the 70s. I watched literally every Planet of the Apes.
No, no, that's not what
Not
I'm
in the
saying.
70s, but
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if you look at the original Planet of the Apes, the classic one with Charlton Heston, and you look at the remake, if you put them side by side, and granted, I will openly admit this, the remake looks visually appealing. It looks fucking stunning. However, the story is not the same. It is such a bastardization of the story and what it's trying to tell you. It's
well,
tell you that man fucked
We're
up.
back.
it's more like what they did was take several
The essence.
aspects of the no.
Okay.
It's like they took several aspects of the original Planet of the Apes series of movies and combined
blended
them
them.
with the original Planet of the Apes. Yes.
So they took a blender to the movie and it shat out something terrible.
I didn't think it was that bad. It was it was very heavy-handed, don't get me wrong. But if you just look at it for movie value rather than political value, it's not a bad movie.
Oh, okay. I can agree to that comment. Yes, if you look at it for just the movie value, it is a very good.
I mean, that's just like if you take the 3 movies that were made on the Omega Man, I Am Legend, and whatever.
Yeah. Last Man on Earth. The
Yeah,
Vincent
last
Price
but on.
one, the Charlton Heston one, and then the Will Smith one. I honestly,
Yeah, you take all 3 of those, they're all bastardizations of the book. But at
yeah,
the same time, they each bring some enjoyment to each iteration of it.
I honestly hear me out. Don't crucify me now when I say this. I like the Charlton Heston one. I don't like it. I don't like it as much as I like the original one, but the Charlton Heston one was pretty decent.
The Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes, you mean?
No,
Nice.
Charlton Heston Omega Man.
I haven't seen it.
You have it?
No.
I think I might have, but it's been years if I've seen it.
It
I
is
was gonna
literally.
say, actually, I may have, but if I did, and you're saying Charlton Heston was in it, I was like probably in diapers.
I'm pretty. I'm not saying it to be anything, but I've seen it. I have it. I have Omega Man, I have I'm Legend, and I have Last Man on Earth, and I love those movies. Again, I think the Charlton Heston one wasn't bad. Not my favorite of the three. It's not the story of a man that becomes he becomes the boogeyman. He
You
is
said
the
Omega.
boogeyman. Well, Last Man on Earth, he becomes the boogeyman of that story. He is the monster.
Yeah.
And Omega Man, he isn't the monster. Everyone else is, and he's the hero. Like
Yeah, I think I have seen this. It's just a long ass time ago.
and then in I Am Legend, it loses the essence because they don't show the monsters as having a culture, if you will. They show them more as creatures like zombies and whatnot, but they don't. They're more like they have emotions and mind, but they don't show them in that light. So we don't get that essence that these are actual beings with forethought, or some sapience and sentience.
Well, that's because I Am
Yeah.
Legend holds them back and does the classic monster movie thing to where you don't reveal your monster too much.
Yeah, but there's an alternate ending where it shows him giving them up and him showing like hey, I'm sorry, and
Yeah.
them showing him mercy, and that should have been the ending of that movie.
Oh, it should have been kind of a both ways to where, you still had the ending of the girl and her son leave, or the woman and her son leave, and go on to the thing having it figured out a cure and whatnot. But
Mhm.
there's also the peace made between the vampires and him.
Yeah, have him live around them and like them just avoiding each other like the plague. Him giving them back.
Well,
I
you
get
could
it,
still
you
have the
understand.
whole thing of it as well, to where it's like, yeah, he gives the the alpha or whatever his mate back, and he leaves with the woman and her kid, which is still pretty funny because other than the whole when shit gets set up because of the one getting captured and that whole
Mhm.
thing, like he's still doing pretty fine until a woman shows up.
Always women fucking shit up. Guy living the bachelor life, then she comes and just ruins everything.
You know what? Here's a hot take. I liked Battlefield Earth with John Travolta as the alien
it wasn't when I watched it, it wasn't a bad story. It was just weird. I hate fucking Dutch angles.
Well, Battlefield Earth is also freaking
L. Ron Hubbard.
yeah.
In a roundabout way, it's like Ocean's 11.
Yeah, it is kind of like Ocean's 11. But the Dutch angles on that, God, that shit was annoying. Like, vertical, motherfucker, vertical. I had to watch that movie to the slack just to get through it. Ugh.
Tell us how you really feel, dear.
Some movies I want to like, but like the way they're shot just pisses me off to no end, and I'm just, fuck this shit. Fuck this movie. I'm sorry. Some days really get my goat. To quote Dr. Elemental, it really rogers my knickers.
What?
Professor Elemental.
It
don't know
rustles
who-
his jimmies.
It rustles my jimmies. It just ruffles my knickers.
Okay.
You don't know who Professor Elemental is? You don't know about Champa? You're not you don't know about Gentleman Rhymers?
I have no idea what you're talking
They play my favorite song. Let me get my fighting trousers out.
about. Oh God, what is this?
What?
Ding, fries are done.
Laundry's done.
Why am I looking for that Dr. Livingston with boxing gloves on?
Yes, my fighting trousers.
What is
Hey guys, my meds are kicking in. I'm going to have to call it a night.
All right,
Alrighty.
my friend. You be
okay?
safe.
Good night, love.
Oh, good
You know
night. Take care. Sweet dreams.
Good dreams.
Glad you got to hear from me.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I ain't got much else. We've been going about an hour.
Yeah. So you, between you, Ruby Ridge, and Ranting Monkey, I have fallen so far down the Wendigoon rabbit hole. I don't know how to get back out.
You never will.
There is no out.
And I don't know why you're so worried about getting out. It's not like it's a bad thing.
It really isn't.
Because he's like, I was watching his one on Ito. Is it Junji Ito? The one who does all like the weird ass horror manga and shit.
Junji Ito's insane.
Yeah, the Junji Ito. And I have no desire to read his books and that
I've
whole
read
thing.
them.
But he's going over Junji Ito's Uzumaki. And it's just shy of 2 hour and 25 minute video.
Uzumaki is fucking crazy. No, Uzumaki isn't as crazy as Fish, Goi, and House Star Vermina.
Oh, so you gotta think like Junji Ito. Okay, you have Uzumaki has the whole thing with the spirals. There's also the one to where people are seeing body shaped holes in side of a mountain. They're like, this one's mine, and then
holes.
yeah, and I the only thing I want to know for that one is like what actually caused it, if that actually even gets explained, or if he leaves that open.
So it's the theory behind it is that it's an eldritch abomination calling us back.
Hmm.
Like, so a lot of Junji Ito's stuff has a lot to do with Eldritch Abominations. You know, Hellstar Ramina is an Eldritch Abomination. Uzumaki, no, not Uzumaki. It's one called Squat, where if you drink the sap of something, like you just die, right? It's because the sap is the blood of a plant, and the plant is squatting you. Like we do a mosquito. It's a variation of a mosquito, if you will. We're the mosquitoes, and it's an Eldritch Abomination. There's one called Layers. Layers is terrifying. Layers
I
is scary.
feel like Tyr likes seeing how long it takes to give himself nightmares.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I mean, when it comes to the anime and manga thing, there is so much different weird ass horror. That's why it's always funny when you see predominantly Americans and whatnot that know nothing about it. And like, oh, anime, it's anime. That means it's for kids, right? And it's like, dude, no.
Hell no.
Like that's where it was really funny back in the day when I was exponentially younger, obviously. So we're talking
I'm going to show you
oh,
a picture.
probably like closer to almost 15 years ago. I was with my parents. We were at one of my parents' friend's house, and I'm downstairs in that, and me and one of their nephews, who's about my age, maybe a little bit older, were watching, I think it was something like Ninja Scroll. And it was his sister or one of his cousins and whatnot walks up to us, sees this whole thing that we're watching, and goes, "You guys are really immature for watching cartoons," as she's wearing a SpongeBob t-shirt, mind you. And the really fucked up part is, like, we both look at her and then look at the screen as there's like 3 dead people that have been like beheaded or some shit, and we're like, bitch, what? Like, did you not pay attention to any of this shit?
Click on this at John Pearl, but this is look at that at John Pearl, but that's some Greece.
Why did you do this?
And that's one of the tamer ones of Junji Ito.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
need to see that, Tyr.
Again,
I'm
the
gonna-
rabbit.
Close. I'm gonna go back to the.
I'm deleting the message. I deleted it.
I'm going. Thank you. I'm going back to the plushie that.
Yeah, go back to the plushies.
gonna go watch some cat videos. Just bring up Kefki's timeline on Twitter just to
Cute
freaking watch
plushies.
ferrets.
Yeah.
Oh,
that is gold standard palette cleanser there. Kefki's timeline on Twitter. It is.
I'm gonna go slow down there for about an hour.
Oh, and then I don't know if you guys saw this because I brought it up originally on Wednesday, then got to bring it up a little bit more on Noir Bar the other night. So have you seen oh God, I can't remember if he's a congressman or just a senator or whatnot, but he's saying that we have to go after those zombie guns.
I didn't know zombies had guns.
Is he talking about the ones that are supposed to be out of circulation? And
Well, he's talking about the gun.
The gun itself is destroyed. Everything that is not a gun is
That's still good.
That is still good is reused, and part of the reason for that is it's the only way to make those gun disposal things profitable. The companies do it for the government at a very cheap price because they get to
Sell off the parts.
sell the parts that are not a gun and still good. If they couldn't do that, the cost of destroying guns for the government would go through the roof.
Oh yeah, because like that was the funny part is I was telling when I talked to my parents about it before, I brought up the whole fact of, or actually we had talked about the whole thing of where I was arguing with someone went on Twitter about, just because you said you consented to sex but didn't consent to pregnancy, if you consented to unprotected heterosexual sex, you consented to the plausibility of having a pregnancy. That's just how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And someone tried to say, oh, with your logic, then we shouldn't provide medical care for STDs because that's a potential consequence of sex as well. And my thing was, Nowhere in there did I say that we shouldn't it's like care for medically STDs nor pregnancy. Now bringing it up to the zombie gun thing again and goes to that, I was like, well then perhaps we need to our vehicles when they're considered total need to be fully destroyed because using parts off of them onto other vehicles would make them zombie cars. See, that's what you call a proper fucking a comparison in logic.
Well, I mean, you're trying to apply logic and reason and rational comparisons to people who
Like it.
Oh, I didn't say it back to him, that whole
Lack.
thing. It was just that whole thing of like, see, I can figure it out, and I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to a lot of things. But it's just so funny seeing so many people like throw him under the bus and what, or I shouldn't just say throw him under the bus, but just fucking drag his ass. And the FPC has just literally made him a lol cow, and he tries to like go back at them, but it's so terribly funny that it's just pathetic.
Oh,
see you say that about yourself, but you're a rational person, which is more than the many people can say about themselves.
Oh no, like that's why I said if you ever want to watch some good shit, look up it's like look up on Twitter the FPC, the Firearms Pistol Coalition, or Firearms Policy Coalition, sorry, and watch some of this shit because like they will put their actual stuff of these are legal actions that we're taking and whatnot, but their person who runs their Twitter, when they go up against like Gavin Newsom or some of the other people on that one, like they are straight no fucks given. And I love it.
good. Somebody needs to be.
Yeah, after your recommendation last night, I went out and gave him a follow. So
Yeah,
I didn't realize I didn't realize I hadn't been following him before. I feel like I was falling short of an obligation or something.
See if I can find one of the good ones of their. Oh wow, a lot of stuff they've had, like the people have straight up deleted their stuff.
I'll be back. I'm getting me something to drink.
I
I'm gonna give you a
will
snack.
bring up this real quick.
Tell me
Go-
this person's a Poe. Please tell me they're a Poe.
Go live to you. Bring back this.
I don't know if they're a Poe. This is so. Oh, where's that tweet now? Come on.
So I'll bring that up there. Because, like, this shit is hysterical of the whole thing that it's like 3 students, 16, 16, and 14, have been arrested after fully automatically rifle was found inside a backpack.
What?
So they just went with the whole thing of fully automatically that had the gift. Like, what are you? An idiot sandwich.
But I just work here, and sometimes my brain hurts.
I still like this one for the ATF of like the ATF thing, which would be like join the elite team of ATF criminal investigators and like fixed it, delete your agency. There is there is so much shit to where it's like they're just straight up no fucks given. Like I still have a huge issue with red flag laws and that whole thing, but yeah, that's just fun.
Oh, I have a huge issue with red flag laws, starting with complete lack of due process.
Oh yeah, and that's the funny part for the most recent one that's been done in Michigan that's gonna get fucking kicked because of it. They're like, oh no, you still get due process because you'll go to a court date later. Yes, after my firearms have already been seized. That's not due process. You're taking my property without me ever going to court and facing an accuser. That's not due process.
I threw in the chat the tweet that had me saying, "Please be a Poe, please be a Poe."
Oh yeah, and apparently our well, for it's mine and Will's, was it Surgeon General or General Prosecutor or whatnot for the state has joined in that whole thing of we should sue Glock because it can be easily modified. And it's like, Dude, in all reality, a lot of semi-automatic handguns can be pretty easily modified to a full auto, but you can't hold the manufacturer accountable for something that's illegal to purchase, illegal to import, and illegal to install without heavily licensing and fees.
And the licensing and fees are the part that's actually illegal.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why whenever it comes to like the ATF uses a lot of like the NFA charges and whatnot because they expect someone to plead down. Because anytime that starts going up to a higher court to where they know it's going to get the NFA is going to get challenged, they drop the NFA charges. Should have grabbed the water while I was up last. Because that shit is still just so goddamn bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFA is one of the things that pisses me off the most because it's like, just let people have what they actually want. And then the simplest thing to do is if they get in trouble of doing wrong with said firearms, then add that fucking charge to it.
Yeah, the way that you resolve all gun crimes is make the same things illegal, and if you use a gun in the commission of your crime, just tack on mandatory additional penalties.
Yeah.
And truly mandatory. Stick with them. No easy outs. No
But-
early parole.
But
No getting out without,
I will put a thing in
bail.
there. That's if you are committing a crime using that. If you happen to get arrested for something but are legally carrying a firearm, they cannot tack that
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Because you
it
know cops will
must
fucking
be-
try that.
It must be using the gun in the commission of the crime, as in you either have the gun out and are using it, or you have made the presence of the gun known
Known.
as part of the commission of your crime.
Yeah,
Merely
basically.
having it, no.
Because far too many of them want to try to pull that shit as well. And that's the reason why I don't like red flag laws as well, because it falls into that whole thing. You haven't done enough to prove a crime is actually going to be committed. And I know like the one that happened at, I think it was U of M that was here in Michigan. And supposedly the mother was like, I reached out to the police and they couldn't do anything and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, I know this is going to sound like it's in bad taste. Did you ever think maybe you could have stopped being a terrible mother and actually took part of your child's life? Instead of just being like, oh, I think something's wrong. I'm just going to wait here and try to tell the government that they should take their property. Then maybe you should have actually, I don't know, tried to help them actually fucking seek help.
See, I know firsthand from my family, immediate family actions while I was there, that police and prosecutors will go for, we're going to push for getting you on a crime when we can't even prove a crime was committed.
Oh, yeah. That's like, I think my favorite one is like when a cop arrests a person, like, well, they were resisting arrest. What were they being arrested for? Well, they were resisting arrest. What were they being arrested for?
Yeah, that's one thing that is bogus everywhere that it happens. If the original arrest is not 100% legitimate, then it is constitutional, should be legal to resist it.
Yeah.
And resist, it's kind of like failure to ID, which is a secondary offense in most states.
Yeah, and the only reason that I'm required to give an ID to police if they ask for it is because I am a fucking concealed carry license holder and I carry like damn near 100% of the time.
Only say then. Well, it's kind of funny because you don't say the only ID you have to show them in that circumstance is if you are carrying,
Yes, which in
and
like
if they ask, you don't have to present your driver's license. You have to present your carry ID.
yeah, I was gonna say, but it's like in
You have to
90%.
show it to them.
Well, what you're not getting is it's like in almost 90% of the cases, I would actually say it's probably close to like 99.9 repeating. I'm
You are
carrying.
carrying.
So
Yeah, I know.
like it's that whole thing of like I'm basically screwed 6 ways from Sunday on that. I've got to show them with it. Fucking irks me.
Well, I mean, you don't have to present it unless they ask.
I got to look into that law again just because I need a refresher. And
Yeah,
then,
I'm working on the refresher.
yeah, because I got to renew mine next year.
Yeah, I've got to renew this year.
I mean, I would love to just see us become a constitutional carry, but Democrats being in office is never going to fucking happen.
Yeah, with the current, with a Secretary of State, Governor, and Attorney General who hate the Constitution, hate the citizens, and have violated their oaths of office 6 ways from Sunday. Yeah, the state going constitutional carry ain't gonna happen.
Well, that's like the new fucking law they went with. Like apparently, it from how it was one of the other laws that went with like of buying a gun. It was almost being looked upon that if you didn't have a concealed carry and you went to a gun shop to buy a gun, you still had to go to the police department to get a purchaser's permit. And it's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I have to go go pay for a purchaser's permit from the police department to get a background check there to go buy a gun from a dealership that's going to perform a fucking background check. Like, are you fucking with me?
Yes, they are.
Well, then they also put it
Exactly.
because like you have to do that now for the private sales because that's what they always want to go with. It's their same reason. Like, well, it's the gun show loophole. Private party sales are not that whole thing. And I fucking hate that.
Basically, the goal is to make it so difficult to buy
Yeah,
gun
they are trying to make it. Sorry.
that it's just not worth their time.
Yeah, they're trying to make it oppressively expensive and inconvenient to the point of people giving up.
Exactly.
We're just gonna legislate your rights away. 'Cause that's about how they go with it.
And then what they should turn around and write laws for, they turn around and say, Mr. President, can you please make a decision on this so we don't look bad and get in trouble with our constituency?
Well, it's like that's the whole thing. Is if they were to go through and do the proper process of being like, okay, we'll do this and make it an actual law, but instead they're always like, oh, we want to make it an executive order or something like that. And it's just like, no, do your goddamn job. I fucking hate that shit. That's like I still think property tax is absolutely bullshit.
Yeah,
I agree.
as
Like,
say
no
you're renting your home from the government, and if you don't pay, they take it away.
Yeah, I still think that
Don't
is
get me
absolutely
started on that.
pure fucking bullshit. Like, because there are some states that don't have a property tax, but I still think that should just be straight up federally. You cannot tax on their property because that is bullshit. That is then you're renting your property from them. But then again, I'm also the same person that's like I have a huge problem with civil asset forfeiture because it shouldn't exist.
See,
Yeah.
I don't say that civil asset forfeiture shouldn't exist, but you should, before any forfeiture can take place, they should have to prove the money is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, just like they have to prove the person is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, they had to prove that what you were using, either the money or whatever property or items that you had, were being used to commit a crime.
Or the proceeds of a crime.
Yeah, or the proceeds of a crime.
But that's the thing. As far as that goes, I don't have a huge problem with civil asset forfeiture like that, if you have, because right now it starts off with the assumption of guilt until you prove the asset's innocent, and even then you might not get them back. No,
Mm-hmm.
that is a violation of everything this country's founded on. If you're going to seize it as the proceeds of a crime, etc., you have to prove the money, the assets, whatever, guilty first.
Yes. Yeah.
Show beyond a reasonable doubt that they are the proceeds of the crime or they were being used to commit a crime. And then we can talk about forfeiture potentials.
Yeah. You have to go through the things properly first.
And the other thing, the groups that do the seizure don't get to keep it.
Well, they don't get to keep it, or if it's sold, they don't get to keep the proceeds.
Yeah. They do not get the proceeds.
Not without filing proper paperwork, and then it has to show what the proceeds are going to be used for.
No, they don't get the proceeds anyway.
I'm 100% fine with that. If anything, it should go back towards the town.
I could go with it
Or
goes
whoever
to the
was
town.
wronged.
It goes to the victims of the crime.
Yeah.
It goes to a
Charitable organization.
charitable organization that helps people that are victims of the crime, but specifically cannot be used for the organization overhead.
Yeah, you
Oh, that's like the whole thing to where I'm still of the belief that anytime a cop gets like probation, or not probation, but you can't come to work because you fucked up, so you're
leave.
yeah.
Oh, anytime a police officer is suspended pending investigation, it should be without pay.
And it should be for a minimum of 2 weeks. Everything. I don't care what it is. And I know it's gonna be like, well, the reason why I say a minimum of 2 weeks is because then it forces them to actually have to pay attention to shit, because it's gonna fuck them over monetarily.
Okay, so if the cop is in the wrong, then yes. But if the cop was in the right, then it shouldn't be an issue. They should get the back pay.
Oh, that I'm 100% fine. If the police officer was in the right, then back pay would be done.
But for that, you also have to eliminate the whole mentality of we have investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing.
Oh yes, that's why the internal affairs shouldn't exist.
Outside investigator.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Terry. It's like that's why internal affairs shouldn't exist. Any investigation into the police or any branch of law enforcement should be done by an outside agency that has no
tie say no connection to police, and none of the people working there have a connection to police.
Wait a minute. All right, so I'm more than willing to have an internal investigator and an outside investigator working together in partnership. Or like two agencies working together doing their independent investigations.
No, I don't want any internal investigation in there, because there are far too many of them that are going to be willing to side and to do the whole back the blue, because they know they have to protect it. Straight up outside agency, completely civilian in that whole factor, because there shouldn't be any form or even thought that what they're doing could be mistaken for anything else. That's why they shouldn't have that, because, well, you gotta remember, the internal affairs is beholden to the chief of police.
Well, no, all right, Rod. Like, in order to clarify what I'm trying to get at, do you know when they do like official transcripts of meetings, like phone calls, there are 3 interpreters listening, and they combine, like they're separate from each other, listening on the same call, and they transcribe it, and they all coordinate to go, okay, this is what was said, and this is the official transcript, right? That's what I'm talking about for that type of issue. It is 2 investigators looking through the entire facts, where they come to a mutual understanding, like, yeah, this is the issue. And the reason why I want someone from the police, because, again, there are situations where procedurally, it could be in the right.
See, in something like that, I wouldn't say that they work with a person from there. They would have someone
Or at least coordinate.
they would have someone to consult with.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because then they can at least say, okay, for this scenario, we're seeing this. Do you have any information that would be like blah, blah, for whatever? But otherwise,
yeah.
anything else would be kept away from that. Because again, when you look at like regular internal affairs, they're beholden to typically the chief or the mayor or whatnot. Well, not even the mayor, but it's going to be the whole thing of they're going to be less likely to find wrongdoing because, well, the chief of police is going to be like, if the chief says it's okay, they're going to be like, it's okay. Like, stop, or I'll make your life miserable.
I would like some coordination between. That way, again, it's two people looking at the same situation, and if they come together, then that's clearly the situation. But if there's a disagreement, hey, this is why this procedure is done.
That's the whole thing. It's like, I'm not saying have one person investigating into it. You'd still want at least two, so you can have more than one set of eyes on it, and then you have someone that they can consult for any procedure or whatnot that they don't know.
I would rather have three, like I said, the example I used was a transcript in the White House for official calls. Three people looking at the same set of information could see things that the other didn't.
Well, that's why I said a minimum of
fine
two.
with it being 2 or 3 investigators, and then having somebody from the police that they can consult with in regards to policy, and my preference would be a criminal defense attorney or constitutional attorney as a legal expert.
Yeah.
In regard, not a scholar. I don't want a scholar. The scholars are the ones that are talking to the courts about here's why you can ban guns. I don't want a scholar. I want an actual attorney that has done their dues on something like this. Ideally, like Mark Smith or something along the lines of Mark Smith or John, civil rights attorney.
I get what you're saying. It's just,
but those two, the attorney and the cop, they are consultants. They are being asked about specific things.
Legal matters.
Relevant. They are not determiners of fact. They are to assist in matters of law and procedure.
Yeah. And then I would want something like that. Like, again, an oversight board would be perfect.
The ones doing the investigation, not police, and don't have ties to the police. They don't have like a brother who's a police officer, or a cousin who's a police officer, or dad 3 generations back they're all police officers.
This is what I would love. I would love for it being from another state, like someone completely removed from the situation that can't have ties to it.
Oh, I'd be all for that.
Yeah, that's why you go with something pretty much to where they're either from that or they're from like a different county.
No, I want at least a different state. State away.
No,
that's going to be a bit more difficult because, like, if we're talking
unless you're dealing with state level law enforcement.
Hold on a second. The only reason why I'm saying you couldn't always do it from another state is because that's going to be hella expensive in places like Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah.
So you have to take into account certain things. Now, as it would go higher up the chain, then yes, you would potentially pull someone from a different state because you don't want any of that. But if we're talking, it's a local fucking PD, you could have a different county that has in it, a thing that does this, come and check out that local PD or that county PD.
And the other thing to remember is this is basically case by case. This is hey, there was a complaint. We're investigating the complaint, not we're watching this police department 24/7.
Yeah,
it's somebody complained about a abuse. About violation of rights. They complained about your officer doing something that was illegal to them. And this is, you've got the complaint form instead of having the we've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing, which is what they do 99% of the time, no matter how egregious it is.
Mhm. And that's why,
I
as
just want
well,
impartiality. Like,
yeah,
I
well,
want the most
dude,
interesting most impartiality.
I could never get into any of that stuff because, like, the things that I would want would have a lot of people who aren't necessarily the biggest fans of police love me, but police would hate me because I'd also be looking at the whole thing of qualified immunity would have to be proven that you were working in conjunction of the actual law. You can't just try to say that because you're a cop, you automatically get qualified immunity. That's not how it works.
I would totally agree to that.
Because I know everyone.
Qualified immunity as the basis on the basis of good faith ignorance of the law must be abolished nationwide.
Going back to why, like initially, it should be a hearing to see if qualified immunity applies. That should be the fact. That should be part of the fact finding. If you found like yes, qualified immunity applies, then there's no issue because you are acting in accordance with the law. But if you're not acting within accordance with the law, then the investigation as a criminal matter can begin.
You were saying something, Angela?
No one who isn't aware of the law should be working in law enforcement to begin with.
Oh, I also do believe they should have exponentially more training. And then when you have like, especially the police officers that have like body cams and things like that, if your body cam gets considered by any means like you shut off your body cam or somehow the footage of that or whatever for it went missing, you immediately lose any immunity or anything that you could have had.
Yeah, there's an issue.
Because like pretty much, hold on, like basically as Wendigoon put it, like the law enforcement is not supposed to be the bottom of the barrel. They are supposed to be the example and everything of like the thing that people like were supposed to be. It's also the same reason why that if I were to have my way with it, when they get actually prosecuted for committing a crime, whatever the harshest penalty would be for a normal it's like law enforcement would be their minimum. So if it's 5 to 10 for me because of doing something, it's going to be 10 to 15 for them. And the only way I would go a little on the ladder would be like, okay, we won't say it's the harshest as their minimum. We'll middle of the road that. So instead of being, if for us it's 5 to 10, for them it's 7 to 13.
That seems fair.
Well, because again, it'll get used on us. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorance of the law for them is no excuse either.
You'll get no pushback from me.
Well, like I said, in the case of somebody who works in law enforcement, ignorance of the law should be an additional charge of criminal negligence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but 99% of them are ignorant of the law and they get off because of qualified immunity.
You should know your own damn job.
Yeah, because they don't fucking... Well, because qualified immunity gets misused. And it's because they're trying to say, well, I was working in accordance with the law. Yes, but when you look at the entirety of the situation from where the whole incident started up into there, you were not working in accordance with the law. It wasn't until this part for you to try to say that you were working in accordance with the law. And that's all you try to say. It's the reason why I have such a problem with cops, because they can go through when we're in a fucking traffic stop and being like, oh, he was fidgeting, he was fucking being aggressive or whatnot. I don't get anything of that. The only way I can help for that is if I'm recording the whole scenario and they're like, well, he says you were doing that. Well, I can bring up the video, sir.
Yeah. And video's another thing. They should never be able to turn off their cameras or the sound to their cameras while they're on duty.
Yeah.
Only I want to do this to the cops like surreptitiously instead of saying you're not allowed to do it. I just want their body cameras to be rewired so that every time they press the mute button, it goes and does a direct data dump and live broadcast to a server that is completely outside of police control.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather
Press the mute, and the whole video becomes there, including everything you're trying to
Well, the
keep
way
quiet.
I'd rather a data dump it'd be all uploaded to a outside source as well. You know,
But
somebody.
I've also got this.
As
I've
a
got
backup.
this theory on. I've got this theory on police body camera footage that it should not be. When they when they get back to the station, they offload the data from the body cameras and everything. That data should not be in police control.
oh hell no.
Yeah, I agree.
They shouldn't be able to mute it. Muting can be done. If a redaction is required
That can be done after
on
the fact.
body camera that is being done for a Freedom of Information Act request, if there is legitimate reason to redact the content, you can redact it from the finished video. Upload the raw video into any one of a dozen video editing softwares. Do the muting there, do the fuzziness there. The raw video remains untouched, because if it goes to court, the whole raw video should be there.
Oh yes.
And I love what
Yes.
The DUI guy and the civil rights lawyer both say, like, as soon as once they hit mute, you have to assume that everything that they are saying while it's muted is detrimental to their case.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Basically, they hit mute, and it's assumption of guilt against the officer's case.
Yep.
Everything that they're trying to conceal there is reasonable suspicion, or is reasonable doubt.
Well, I'm
Just
also
automatically.
I'm also the same person that thinks that like so much of what they do needs to be redundant, especially when you look into like also how they're like after a person's been arrested and handcuffed, of how they lead them around, because they technically grab them the wrong way so many times that they cause more damage to a person that they're not supposed to do. Like there's been I don't know how many incidents to where after the fact that the police the police departments had to shell out hundreds of thousands of dollars, because after they had a person in custody, they're fucking grabbing in ways that the human body can't contort when their arms are like that, and breaking bones, if not permanently disabling people.
See, I'm less worried about that, and I'm more worried about something that came to mind when James talked about just putting both hands out the window when he does the stop, and that's the increasing prevalence of felony stops.
Mhm.
And the stuff that they do there, because some of the things that they order people to do, I can't do that safely unassisted.
Yeah.
I saw one this past week where they had a bogus thing that they turned into we're going to treat you as a threat. Get out of the car, the full felony stop, walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Now get down on your left knee. And I'm like, okay, one,
I can't move that way.
I can't move that way. Not safely. I risk falls and severe injury trying to walk backwards without a mobility aid, and maybe even then.
Yeah.
Get down on my left knee.
Are you going
I
to be able
might
to
be-
pick me up? Because
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh
gonna be
no,
able
it's worse. It's worse than that. Because if I have to put my hands on top of my head and try and get down on one knee, I am going to get injured.
You're gonna eat
Oh,
shit.
no.
Well, that's why it's like it's
Especially,
still
especially if it's the left knee.
Yeah.
I have to be able to use my hands and nearby things like my cane and the counter and anything if I'm going to get down on a knee or both knees, and then I need assistance getting back up.
Yeah.
And there are people who have been tased or shot for
Failing to do
failing
so.
in these instructions, and you try to tell them stuff and they don't listen. It's like, I can't do that. I'm disabled. You're telling me to do something I physically can't do.
Oh yeah.
Like they've had people pinned to the ground with their arms under them 2 cops on the person. It's like, put your hands behind your back. Stop struggling. I can't move my hands. You pin me down with them underneath me, and you got 2 people on top of me. How am I supposed to pull my arms out?
Yeah.
Stop resisting, Will.
Well, then again, that's like the whole thing of like any stop that they would have to do to you as well. I would put in the law to like, I think a couple of states have had, especially for traffic stops. They don't get to come up to the window and say, do you know why I pulled you over? No, they need to tell you who they are and why they pulled you over. That is the first things out of their mouth.
That's actually a law out of California that I hope does spread to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm real simple. It's like, do you know I pulled you over? I'm sorry, officer. I've got no idea what seems to be the problem today.
You thought I was really cute?
Go with the Gabriel Iglesias one. But you can smell it.
Well, for that one, you'd actually have to have fresh donuts. But in anything else, like, because like I always hate that shit because so many of them come up there straight fishing. And that's where it's really funny because Michigan has the weird thing since we do have legal marijuana, the whole thing of I think I smell marijuana can kind of be used, not 100% type thing for a supposed considered justification for searching a vehicle. And I already know that if a cop tries to say that, I've been like, dude, were you fucking or it's like God, now I'm trying to remember what the fuck it's called. Was it clam bacon?
Hotboxing?
Hot boxing your cruiser back there. I ain't touched the electric lettuce in 19 years.
I
That's
haven't seen the devil's cabbage.
That's where I've got one of 2 directions my occasionally flippant tongue wants to go. One of them is okay, were you dropped as a kid or did your mom spike you into the pavement? The other one is no, you and I both know that's a lie. And if you want to use that to search my car, I will sue you and make you perjure yourself or admit that you lied.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to get shot? I mean,
Oh, well,
what
I'll go
did
through
you
the whole
shot?
thing that if I get out of the vehicle, it's just like I invoke my Fifth Amendment right and I do not consent to any search or seizure of my
Yeah.
person or of my vehicle.
Say, officer, I'm invoking
And then-
my 4th and 5th Amendment rights.
And then the great thing as
I-
well is the only thing that you'll say after that is, am I free to go? And when they
Yeah.
try to say no, because they can only hold you for what's considered a legal amount of time that a traffic stop is supposed to be, which is usually
A
roughly about
reasonable
15
amount
to
of
20 minutes.
a reasonable amount of time for the original purpose of the stop. So if they stopped you for speeding, a reasonable amount of time to write that ticket.
Mhm.
But it's like, officer, I invoke my 4th and 5th Amendment rights. I do not answer questions, and I do not consent to any searches and seizures. And if they press, okay, officer, I'm also going to invoke my 6th Amendment rights. I ain't talking without a lawyer.
Yeah, see, my thing is, they'd ask me why they pulled me over, and I'd be like, because you need to meet your quota.
Well, with what I know for like Tier and Angela and that whole thing, they'd be like, do you know why I pulled you over? You're talking to the wrong person. The bus driver's up there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's
Like, you
Hey,
didn't
you're a
pull me.
bus.
You and I both know you didn't pull me over. Like, I ain't
You know
even
what?
driving.
Oh, really? I clearly, I don't know.
Oh,
Like,
that's one of the
Tier's
thing
gonna be
that
like, what am
really-
I? Is it now illegal to ride while black?
I don't know. Was he in the back of the bus?
Oh no, if I flunk that shit, the niggas are back there.
oh my god.
What?
No, one of the other things that really gets to me, and I just completely lost my train of thought. That also annoys me.
Been there.
Oh, this is where it was going. The trying to push to make you treat it like a traffic stop when they didn't pull you over.
Yeah. Well-
Either you were parked in a parking lot when they came up, or you weren't even in your vehicle when they came up.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of those things. The second it shows up on the body camera, the officer should just be fired.
Yeah.
Just boom. This is not a traffic stop. Now, if you want to treat it like a consensual encounter until the person makes it clear it's not a consensual encounter,
Mhm.
fine. I mean, police have the same right to walk up to you and ask you how you're doing as any other stranger.
Mm-hmm. But the thing I hate about that is because you'll be like, I don't want to talk to you. There's the fact that they will escalate the situation further. And if it gets brought up that it's like, okay, let's see, we looked at the body cam and it's like, person says, the cop comes and says, it's like, hey, how's it going? Because he was walking by and whatnot. The person's like, dude, I don't want to talk to you. Oh, this and that. And he goes further and shit gets escalated. It's like, well, we can see the police officer's obviously in the wrong.
Yeah.
Them telling you that they don't want to talk to you is not an admission or any justification of them have committed a crime.
Yeah, that and the invocation of a right is not giving the police officer a hard time, nor is it justification to dig further. And I have seen the officers like, why are you giving me a hard time? What?
Why are you fishing?
Invoking my First and Fifth Amendment rights are giving you a hard time? No.
Yeah.
I don't have to do your investigation for you if you're actually doing an investigation, which it certainly doesn't look like. I don't have to do your investigation for you, and I don't have to assist you in your investigation. I don't have to answer any questions, and I choose not to. And that's not giving you grief. It's not giving you a hard time. I mean, is it making your life more difficult? Yeah, because you don't want to do your job.
But before we all get super angry, it's been like 2 hours, and I still got to go to work tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
And for everyone who came by, appreciate you joining. Be aware of what's going on tomorrow, since it's going to be April Fool's Day, and some people are dicks.
oh,
but-
that's right.
I am.
Hey, be careful. I've been that person, although the meanest one I've done in the last decade had a coworker whose desk was just loaded with those Funko Pops.
Mhm.
Oh,
I took and turned all of them around. So they're facing, instead of facing her, they're facing away from her. And I do actually have a picture of this, and it's still one of her favorite memories from The Office.
Well, there's doing things that's like that, and there's also the ones who will be a complete asshole in that whole thing. But no, I'm super excited because I should be getting in sites that are either going to plausibly go on my CSX. If they don't fit on that, they'll go on my actual MMP.
nice.
And then Tuesday, I should be getting the new slide for my G43X. We're going to get out of here. I got to get some shit out at some point for something or other on my channel besides the weekly live stream. But I have
Yeah, I
been
hear you
lazy
there.
as fuck. I've got stuff and I need to go through and film some more, or not film, record some more audio of that. I think I'm going to try to get some more footage this coming Sunday when I go to the range, as long as it's not packed, but we'll see how that is when me and my dad go. But we're going to get out of here, folks, so hopefully you have a good week. We made it through another month. We are a quarter of the way through 2024.
Yay.
Yeah, I at least got the date right, or the year right as well. I almost said 2023.
It be zooming. It be zooming.
Yeah, I still got to set up a time to go
Before
talk to
we
the
know it,
VA.
it's the end.
We're out of here, folks, so you have a good one. We will have next Saturday on Tears channel with the Midnight Show, and then that next Sunday we will be doing the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage for episode 60 of Rotten Movie Reviews. The fact that it is gone in 60 seconds for episode 60 is hysterical to me.
It is pretty awesome.
But have a good
That
one.
is cool.
Hope you had a happy Easter, whatever you celebrate. We're out of here.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Join us again next week, or you can check out the other people in the panel in the description and see us again plausibly on one of their channels, or just check out what work they've done. Have a good week, everyone.